All right. So again, come over to my YouTube, go to my profile, click on the YouTube link, and then it'll take you right to my YouTube page. And I'm already live. So all you got to do is just kind of come on over here. Just come on over here. And just so y'all know, the panel is it's the pre-selected panel. I'm going to send Maurice the list of folks. I'm going to send Maurice the link. And we're gonna switch over to YouTube. Hey everybody, y'all here? Okay, come on over. Let me get this one out. Let's see. All right, so I gotta get the link to Didi. I know you just sent me Maurice's number, so let me see. They're saying keep it on YouTube too. Okay, well if you just want to listen, you can just listen on TikTok. But I do got to send him the link. So let me send him the link. Hold on. Let me get the link. All right, y'all. So this is for the people who are staying on. If you want to see Maurice, now you got to come over here to YouTube. Now, if you just okay with listening, you can just listen from TikTok. But for everybody that want to see him, Maurice is I'm gonna let Maurice know he is in demand at this point. All right, Maurice, let me know when you get here. All right, I just shared the link. So again, if you want to see Maurice, come over to YouTube. To get to my YouTube, all you got to do is go up to my profile and click on the YouTube channel, and everybody can just come over. Hey, everybody. So we actually started our interview over on TikTok, but Maurice didn't have enough. I don't know what's going on TikTok. They didn't want him to cut his camera on. So we are switching over here, and we're going to pick up our interview from here. And okay, Maurice, I need you to go to this link right here. I'm going to put it back out here. I need you to click on it. Come join the stream. Come join the stream. So if you want to see Maurice, you got to come over to YouTube. But if you just want to listen, you can listen from right here over on TikTok. All right. Make sure y'all like the chat. He's in high demand. Okay. The people said they want to see Maurice. So let's see him. Oh, good God. Taylor, you're going to go blind. Okay, that's better. All right, we waiting on Maurice to join the stream. Hey, Miss Sylvia. Hey. Yeah, Maurice has a crazy background. And we've given him his proper title of producer. So now when y'all say Maurice, my son's screaming. So now we address him. We are no longer addressing him as Maurice the cameraman. It is, y'all, Maurice the producer. What's going on, Maurice?
Am I? I think I'm doing it. Okay. Is that right?
You are definitely okay.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right.
Say
How's
hi to the
everybody doing?
people. They wanted to see you. Say hi to the people.
How everybody doing? Okay. So we got. All right. You put me on the new technology. I got to get up on the YouTube and all that good stuff. So thank you, Taylor. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And you do got to get into the YouTube because when you start producing your shorts, and not just short video, your little short movies, we want to go to your YouTube channel and watch them.
Are they on there? They on there? Sylvia, Miss Sylvia shared one of them. She be careful with it because it got music she can't license. So
Yeah.
somebody says the Carl Thomas sweater. Yeah, got my Donnell John vibe going on right now. Appreciate that. Thanks for looking out. Now, no, I'm not married. What do we lead off at?
Y'all on Maurice bumper. You were about to explain to us your roles and responsibilities during a court case.
So it varies. For this one in particular, is really just building those relationships within the courthouse with the attorneys, the deputies, and of course the judge, and then also just documenting everything that's happening that you don't see on the camera and send that back to Miss Kathy, who you all, if you're on Twitter, you all know. She is, so when Kathy tweets out what's going on, that information is coming from me. 90% of the time. She does have good relationships with the attorneys as well, but 90% of the time is streamlining information to her.
Oh, okay. So how did you, I heard you say that you came out of retirement to do this case. So kind of talk to us about why did you come out of retirement and why this case?
So it was actually brought to my attention the opportunity from an old coworker at Court TV, and she was like, "Long Crown was looking for somebody," and I had just left Bounce TV. They had a Bounce TV is selling, so they had a huge layoff, and so I was like, "Man, I got a severance. I could, stack some money. I'm getting paid already from the severance, so let me just go ahead and do it." So I was only going to do it for a couple of hits. And then I just got really invested into the trial. It's a show that I'm looking to produce that focuses on the judicial system and people of color. And one of the topics that we wanted to dive in is hip hop lyrics. So when I got into this trial and really seeing the nuances of what was going on, it was twofold. To be honest, they reminded me of my friends and I growing up. I can't imagine at 17, 16 having millions of dollars and access to all these weapons and things like that, and still I'll probably be making a lot of the same decisions that they made. I remember being at hothead. I remember allowing, something to make me so upset or trying to fight over a girl or things like that. And so it reminded me a lot of my friends. I mean, we had a clique, we had a name, we knew thugs. I mean, I'm from the south side of Chicago. I've seen plenty of all that action. But, I thankfully, was blessed enough to take a different path in life. So I really wanted to make sure that they had a fair, really wanted to show them having a fair trial. I didn't like how other camera people were doing it. Like they keep the camera on Thug 80% of the time. I'm like, that's not what it shouldn't be. It's not his show. I mean, it is, but it's not. It really should be painting what is the judicial system doing and how it could pertain. Because if it wasn't Thug, it'd be another young black man who was out here and being, having to fight for his life. I don't want to go and give my thoughts about the trial, but really having to fight for his life. So that's important to me.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm gonna tiptoe around the situation a little bit, but I do want to ask you, how has this trial affected your view of the judicial system? I mean, you got a front row seat, so I mean,
I'm gonna speak in general, so I'm not,
yeah,
because like I said, I had 3.5 years with court TV. So working in the court system really has opened my eyes up to really seeing, like I remember hearing a hip hop song, I can't remember who the rapper is, but he said, I'd rather be buried by 6 than judged by 12. And it never hit me until I started working in trials and in court systems. Cause you're really have your life in the hands of 12 people, you
yeah,
know, and I don't think people really grasp that. I remember one trial, this ex-football player, Kellen Winslow Jr., was in Oceanside, California, which is like a suburb of San Diego. And it was similar to this, except it wasn't rap lyrics. They were showing like post that he had put on Instagram. Like, yeah, one photo of him in his underwear. And I remember during that time, a lot of celebrities did that.
yeah,
But because they're in Oceanside, there's a bunch of white people, like 12 white people, who see this young black boy. Well, he wasn't young, but see this black man, and the prosecution was trying to make him out to be a sexual deviant. And when they used that post as an example, I'm like, Justin Bieber just did that like five weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, you call it Bieber a sexual deviant, but because they don't know that, and because he had money and he was living in Oceanside, California, he's being judged by his peers, which unfortunately at that time, a bunch of white people, because he moved to Oceanside,
right.
and he got, I think, 30 years in jail. You know what I'm saying? Over some stuff. I mean, was he a creep? Yeah, he did some stuff, but was he guilty of everything that I don't think so. I don't think he was a deviant that they made him out to be. So it really just put into perspective about really having to make sure that I live a life that, and my children live a life, and my children's children, my neighbors' children, my neighbors and my brothers and my friends, that I could be able to share my experiences, that they don't have to put themselves in a position that they have to be judged by 12.
Yeah, yeah, that's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep. I don't think when we listen, I mean, we're hearing a lot about rap lyrics and them being just used to prove or uh as testimony evidence of crimes, right?
Mhm.
And so when we take a deeper look into some of the things that these artists are really saying, it's in my opinion, a lot of it comes from just a place of hurt. It just comes from a place of unlove. And I think it's very unfortunate that a lot of us have similar stories and can relate to what these guys are going through because we see it every day around us. You know what I mean? We've had so much exposure to it. And I also think that a lot of us have become numb, and this trial has reopened our eyes to to realize like, hey, it's still going on.
Still
We
going. And to me also, I think it's important for the audience. I think it's important to have the cameras in here so that people can see. And in addition to that seeing, it's important for us to share accurate information, which is, I think, another reason why I wanted to take on this, because it was so much misinformation. I learned that the hard way when I covered the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. For those who may remember, that's the white boy who crossed state lines and at the Black Lives Matter killed 2 white guys. And when it first came out, he's like, oh, he shot 5 black people, or he crossed state lines with a weapon and all this other stuff. And I'm like, but none of that happened. Like, when you're in the trial, you realize, oh, like, none of that is true. When you're
Yeah,
doing the pre-trial and you getting all the information, and he's like, Dad, there's so much misinformation out there. And I think for African Americans in particular, um, it's important for us to make arguments equipped with the truth rather than sensationalism.
yeah, yeah. Well, I heard you talk about just making sure that we get accurate information out. Are there any other ethical considerations that you consider when you're filming in the courtroom?
Um, I touched on it earlier, which is really about allowing the entire story to be told, where it's not just one sided, right? Where it's not just about like keeping the camera on the defendant. I mean, it's a little harder when you have one camera. Yeah, most cameras you could kind of dedicate a camera to the defendants. However, I try to put the audience as much as I can into that courtroom. And I think that's important ethically so that people can realize that, hey, you're not missing anything. If you were here, you would be seeing the same thing. Now, of course, there's some nuances that, once that I have to put the camera to the seal that you won't be privy to. But for, I would say 90% of the time, I try to ethically share that information. I don't talk about the attorneys or the judges. I don't give my personal thoughts or opinions about them. I think that's important. I don't really try to blur the lines between work and things like that. But especially with long trials, you build relationships. You build relationships with the family of both parties, the victim's family and also the defendant's family, and you build the relationship within that courthouse. So but it's really just making sure that you respect all parties. I mean, we're humans. We're going to have our thoughts. We're going to have our perspective of why this happened or why this didn't happen or this doesn't look good or whatever. However, I try not to forget my human experience, but also I try not to display that for the public consumption.
Yeah. Yeah. I respect that. I respect that. And that being said, Maurice, I am absolutely going to bring up some of the people who inspired me to even create content on the YSL trial. We call ourselves, okay, the
Okay.
YSL TikTok Avengers. But I'm gonna bring up a few of my girls.
All right.
So
That's fine.
they can get a piece of Maurice too. You got enough to go around?
Hello.
Hey guys, hello.
Yeah,
I am Mrs. Jefferson, or Mrs. Jefferson says. So
okay. To meet you.
nice to meet you, because I be talking all that stuff. Now I know you're not married, so I can quit talking stuff for real.
I appreciate it. No, I'm not married. I was married. Not bro. It's been 15 years.
Where are you?
You know your nephew. Okay. So,
15.
no, because when I saw that eye roll, I said, where's his wife? Tell his wife to go up there, because that's my mouth on TikTok. So, I had a whole question set up for you.
Okay.
And now I'm abandoning it because I was at Maurice the cameraman too.
Mhm.
And now that all this has come out, now people know that hey y'all, people know that I have an affinity for trial. So I just watch trial. So Rittenhouse, I watched that one. Like I probably watch every trial there has probably been between court TV and law and crime for no reasons for probably about the last 13 years. TikTok is new to me, but it looks like everybody is kind of getting into this trial, kind of seeing the legal system in some way, shape, or form for what it is in this particular trial, and it's at least getting people to look at it, see what's going on, see some of the things that may or may not happen, and then having some sort of appreciation for it in some way, shape, or form. And I think you're doing an amazing job as far as keeping us informed. We might yell at you in the chat when the sound go out and stuff like that, but we don't mean nothing by it. We just want to hear because we ain't there. So I'm going to skip my original question because, as people know, for me, I see this trial twofold because I have a nephew that is picked a different side and now he's soaring. And then I have a godson who did everything he could to get behind them walls.
Mhm.
And so when I see trials like this, I have a certain affinity for what's going on because I see how that can happen. I come from those neighborhoods. I've seen 3 generations of RICO happen from my particular neighborhood in itself. All of which when one point was uncles and it was cousins and then it was everybody my age. So I have a thing for RICOs. So Brian Steele's original supposed to be RICO argument for a mistrial from on day one was what brought me to this particular trial. But now that I understand exactly what it is that you do and how you do what you do, would you, or could you ever think of putting the camera in the hands of young kids? Like, maybe sometimes people just don't know what they don't know, and they may not know where their dreams may lie. And so if you're somebody, you hear doctor, lawyer, and then you hear sports, basketball player, baseball, soccer, something that makes millions, but they don't understand that they can actually organically grow that themselves. And for somebody like my godson, who's going to come out of there and better find a way to work for himself, because being a felon and trying to get things going is probably not going to be the easiest thing ever, and not easy at all. Is that something that you would ever think about doing? Because there's so many people like you. I ended up in pre-med, and not because I wanted to, not at all. I was literally a church girly, and I'm sitting in church, and this pastor walked up to me, anointed both of my hands, and told me I was supposed to do surgery. I didn't think twice. I walked straight into my HBCU, signed up for pre-med, and I hate chemistry. How about that? Got a 4.0 in it. I believed it, but that wasn't what I wanted to do, and now I'm in tech. So, and TikTok. And so I think that if kids were able to see, and I left Columbus, Ohio, and came to Arizona, where I'm at now, my preschooler has a digital media class. He's walking around with a camera doing photography at 4. I would have never seen that back home. Would you ever consider something like that, where you bring your craft and you go be Mr. Huxtable, grab up the kids and show them something new? That might be something that people never even thought. They don't know you look like you. You look like them.
I definitely I don't know what I'm on my end, but that's how I started, right? You know, somebody believed in me. So I'm very intentional about pulling the next generation, and not even just young people, but also older generation, and really just helping them. Because I think media is very important. And I don't want to get to a point where media is AI driven, you know, where everything is just methodical and it's just scripted. Like you miss the human experience by not allowing our young people to have a voice. And that's one of the things I actually, I believe it's ABC or NBC. They do like a kids news focus, which I really enjoy. And so I'm always here to help our young people that are willing to put in the work. You know, I think that's one thing that we have to stop doing, is forcing our young people to do stuff that they don't want to do. You know, even when the opportunity was presented to me to work on the Essence Awards show, she just said, "Hey, listen, just come out here. I'm gonna put my money up. You're gonna get a free trip to New York at the end of the day. And if you like it, then cool, stick with it." And I did. And it was her seeing something that God allowed her to see in me that has changed the entire trajectory of my life. So I'm thankful for that. So to answer your question, yes, I'm always here to help anybody, because media is important.
I love it. I'm always like I said, I work in tech. So AI is the push for everything, from opening your eyes to washing your dishes. Like that's just the push right now. Right. And like I said, with as much as I used to hate it before people started listening to me running my mouth on it, it's just like, I hated TikTok. It was 15 seconds. Nobody paid attention any longer. You can't talk to anybody long enough. They just ready to keep scrolling. So I think sometimes a lot of these kids can benefit from seeing something grow from their own hands, and understanding that they're truly capable of something. And then from there, their mind can grow. But right now we limit them to 15 seconds, do as I say, not as I do. And then there's a lot of parents who are friends, and then all of those other good things that happen. And then we end up in a situation with, I don't want to. And then that I don't want to stunts them from even trying. So I love it. I'm a fan.
And
Thank you.
even today, I think a lot of people just need to see successful people that look like them. I think
Yes.
with this trial, we can kind of tell the way that people grow up, and just even our friends and family, the way that they grow up. Like just having somebody that does something different, that is smart and can be successful, doing things legally is important in my opinion.
Yes. I saw a question about Doug Weinstein. Thank you, Doug, for asking that wonderful, impactful question. Why don't I object when they want the state doesn't want to show anybody? Doug, that's a great question. And I have a simple answer. It's above my pay grade. So it's above my pay grade. But I tell you what, Doug, we're wrapping up now. If it ever happened again, well, this is going to be my last trial. I'm officially done with trials. But that's a great question, Doug. Thank you. In this perspective, I'm officially done with trials.
We sad to see you go. We think you do a great job.
I appreciate that. Well, I have other things that I'm looking to do. I'm trying to pitch 2 shows to crime, so we'll see how that goes. So.
All right, we got Allison up here. Hello, Miss Yates.
Hello, hello.
How you doing, Miss Allison?
Wonderful. How are you?
I'm blessed. No complaints.
Wonderful. So I am a public defender here in Georgia.
Nice.
So I'm actually just going back and watching some of today because I had my own stuff, and very quickly, because I know we're coming up on time. One, this is my unserious question. How do you keep yourself from laughing when some things happen that are just, you've got the guys laughing, some of the attorneys laughing, because there are some things that have happened that are just funny. Yeah. So how do you keep your composure in those moments?
A good chuckle, I also have to keep I like levity. That's why I really appreciate Doug, Max. The defense attorneys, and I'm not trying to be biased by any means. So anybody in the DA office, I don't want to hear none of that. But I love that they do bring levity to this, because at the end of the day, these everybody is being impacted in this courtroom, and being able to have levity in those moments, it's important. But I just try to, I do my best to remain professional, and as the great Deion Sanders say, keep the main thing the main thing, and I'm there to do that.
See, Mel, I don't know where you at, but Mel, did you hear that quote? Okay.
And my serious question is, now that I know a little bit more about what you do, what is the most rewarding thing about your job, as a whole? With this trial, but with just your job in general, what is the most rewarding thing for you?
And my job in general. Now, when you say, are you saying my career in general, or within the courts?
Like, we can go with your career in general.
The most rewarding thing is people seeing my art, because my art is a representation of me. And when people can not only watch it, but get something from it, it means a lot to me. And so that's the most rewarding. And also, being able to live out that dream that the little boy in me desperately wanted to live out, and allowing my mother to, because it was 2 things. The name of my company, Pipe Dreams Deferred, was inspired by my dad telling me I was living a pipe dream. And if you look at my indie productions, I have a tag at the end of it, and it shows my company logo, but you hear this woman say, "Live your dream." And that's my mother. That's my mother's voice. And so one inspired me one way, and the other inspired me the other way. And that's the beautiful part of having parents. And so I get to live my dreams, and that's important. And make money, be able to take care of my family. So I'm good.
Well, thank you so much. And again, as a public defender here in Georgia, I appreciate you covering the trial as well as you are, because it is, I mean, it is incredibly important. So
Yes.
thank you so much.
Thank you for
And
watching.
I will pass it along.
All right.
All right, we're gonna jump to Mel. Everybody say hi to Mel.
How you doing?
Hi, Maurice. How are you?
Good. Nice to meet you.
I follow you on Twitter. We've spoken a few times. I'm Verdict Mail on Twitter. I can't post my picture, Maurice, because Elon be hating on me over there. But so I know you kind of touched on it just a little bit, but I really have to ask again for myself and my TikTok followers, because I did make a big deal when I saw the eye roll. Did you see it in live? I know you can't talk too much, but did you see it when it happened?
I saw it when it happened. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna leave it there. So you did see it. Well, just know that my people on TikTok, we ride for you over there. Okay.
I appreciate it. I really appreciate that.
We cut up about you because we said that was so unwarranted. When I say okay, I'm gonna let it go. But we cut up about you. I just want to let you know that, okay? So my question, as a creative, and I know you said you're a producer and you're working on other things, has this trial inspired you to, because you've seen a lot, you've heard a lot, you've been front row to so many different stories. Has it inspired you sitting there to maybe go home and things that you thought that you want to do after?
I'm gonna tell you something. After this was a year-long trial, right? For me, because I came in after it started. So you tack on the other 3.5 years I did the trials with Court TV. I've learned once I leave that courthouse, I'm done. I can't take it with me. Because it's important that you learn how to compartmentalize that, because I'm the only one that can. When you think about it, like the attorney's got to go home with this, the judge's got to go home, the defendants, the victim's family, they have to go home with the weight of this trial. I need to go home understanding that I need to take care of me and my mental peace. So when I leave, I unlike most of those people in that courthouse, I'm very fortunate that I'm able to leave it at that courthouse.
Okay, I love that for you, because I absolutely don't leave it all. I think we're always, most of us up here are always, even when you start other streams for something, somebody's going to come in and say, "Hey, what happened in court today? Did you see this?" So good for you. My other question would be, I heard you talk about how you grew up on the south side of Chicago. You said south side, right?
South side.
I saw your tweet when you kind of hinted to how gangs work in Chicago as opposed to what we've seen in court. I really just kind of wanted to know, being that you were able to get out of the situation and you're doing an amazing job now, what is one piece of advice that you can give to other young Black African American males that are growing up in these environments, especially after witnessing what we've seen throughout the trial? What's something you would tell them?
Yeah, that's heavy, man. It's something that I tell my son. My son is 15, right? My son unfortunately, he doesn't live with me. He lives in South Georgia with his mother and my daughter. But I could kind of see him, tempted to take certain paths in life, which, I just try to let him know, like, there are better options out here. We can all get rich quick. I remember, even outside of the street life, right? When I got into the industry, if I wanted to do a movie, I could have easily took $2 million from a local drug dealer, But what came behind that? I was beholden to that, So, it's really about not taking that easy path. And it's also up to us, my generation and the older generation, to really reach back. I think that's what we're missing within this generation. No one is reaching back. No one is, it's like we get to where we at, we comfortable, we stand where we stand, but we not saying, hey, I remember my father taking me to his job and seeing what he does. And my mother, that's why I wanted to be a doctor, because my mother, she was a phlebotomist. She still is. And I remember going and seeing those doctors and seeing how they changed people's lives. And just the impression that had on me was amazing. And I think we, as much as we try to protect our children, which I get because there are a lot of crazy people in this world, I think we also do them a disservice by not allowing them to go out and venture and like live, you know. I try to tell my son, listen, the biggest threat of society is technology. You know, as much as it has helped us, it has crippled us. And I do my best to keep my kids active, and I try to, you know, do my best to make sure that I'm reaching back and like really show them that it's a different way to live, and you can have fun and do this thing called life and do it in a better way.
Well, thank you so much for answering my questions.
I hope I answered it correctly. I felt like I was running around the mulberry bush, but yeah.
No, I feel like you got some really interesting points out, and I think one of the most important things that I took from what you said is our ability to reach back, and not just with our children, but with people in our communities. We don't have that as much as we did in the past. So I feel like if we can tackle that, maybe we could stand to make some changes in our communities, because our communities are the ones that are most heavily affected by what we've seen go on throughout this trial. So I appreciate that. And I have to get you over to my YouTube. So because I'm seeing my people in the chat, and I think, let me tell you, sometimes we do something. I have to talk to you. I'll talk to you. I'll message you and we'll get something together. But thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
So why am I unmuting you, Star, and then talking as if
I was confused. I didn't want to like jump in, and I wanted to wait my turn. So, but is it my turn now?
Yeah, and I know we had a time talk, but we did have a situation in the middle. So
yeah, that's fine. Listen, I'm in no rush. I meal prep on the weekends, so my meals are already done. We good.
Okay, well, I promise I will be as quick as I can. But, you know, just to build on what Mel was just saying, you know, I think that one of the things that your work and everyone's work in this trial kind of points out is that, you know, I think people typically think of like doctors and stuff as the people who like save lives, but like what you're doing in the courtroom, like somebody has to be you to be there to film this and expose what's going on. And so I think, you know, this is just a prime example of like, there are a lot of different ways to change and save lives. So, you know, well, to lighten it up a little bit. So, I mean, I know you said that you have been doing, sorry, my boyfriend is hammering something. He picks the absolute worst time. Okay.
He knew
So
he was talking to me, so now he want to be a distraction. Tell me,
you
something.
know, he doesn't seem threatened at all by all the marriage proposals that I get on TikTok. Anyway, so you know, I heard you say earlier that you had been doing this work for a while, but you had stepped away for like 4 years. Is this the first time that like you're kind of a character in the show? You know, because like it's got to be a little unusual, right? Like, is this the first time that you have really become a presence?
It is, and I tried to fight it every step of the way. Taylor to tell you, I did not want to do this. And then she first asked me, and then Miss Sylvia, who I absolutely love, and I definitely want to talk about new media before we go. She really got my name out there, and people started following me after that, you know. But yeah, this is the first time we normally try to stay humble, stay low, blow like Hootie, you know. That's the motto we try to do as producers and cameramen. And so, but I also understand the importance of having that voice and being able to share that experience. So I'm not trying to capitalize off of this trial, because there are real lives at stake, and I never will want them or their families to think that oh, I'm trying to get on. You know, my life is blessed with or without this trial. So, you know, but yeah, this is my first time. So, but I'm definitely thankful to be able to share my experience and answer any questions that you all may have, as long as we're not, you know, being messy.
I understand. I mean, has that impacted the way you work in any way, that now you're kind of known, or is it something
No,
you think about at all?
no, not at all. Not at all.
Well, this is an unusual circumstance for you to be known by us, but it's a great opportunity. Like, it's just such an interesting job and perspective. And so thank you so much for giving us some of your time, because I know that, you may not be talking all day like the attorneys, but you are having to pay attention kind of in the same way as a court reporter or whatever, anybody else in there, because we see you picking the angles. Okay. Some of those
I
are
try to.
accidents.
Yeah, and listen, let me now that you mentioned that, I will say, people, you know, there's a reason why I choose my shots. You know, it's certain things that, you know, Mr. Abadi, he complains a lot because the good people on this here internet like to zoom in on his computer, you know, when I go to that wide shot. So I have to be very selective on how I shoot, because listen, you guys are hell.
I mean, the eagle eye nature of the viewing public never ceases to amaze me.
I
So,
was going to say though, I think Atkins has a privacy screen on his
Yes.
computer, which I don't understand. Like, and this is just being real. It's out in the open. Like, I definitely posted him searching that watch because they brought it to my attention on my live, and it's like, get a privacy screen because we are back there. I never thought it was purposeful on your end,
Yeah.
but it's right there.
Yeah. And listen, I mean, it's life. It happens, you know, and when there's a camera around in general, you have to be careful. I mean, and if anything, this trial has taught us to beware of cameras. You know, from just posting on social media to being in the courtroom, is cameras everywhere. So,
And we all know that there are techniques to keep people from looking. You can turn your body, turn your computer. There are techniques to keep people from looking. But
and
if it's
certain
there, I'm
people
gonna
have
look.
utilized them to, their advantage at times.
But I'm gonna look if it's there.
Listen, that's why. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Taylor.
No, I was just gonna say, like, when you're in the midst of your job, though, like, is that the first thing you're thinking about when you would be thinking about if you got your? Nah. I don't know. I just want to give them a little bone, just in case they do forget.
Yeah, I mean, and like you're right. I mean, they're not thinking. They're trying to prosecute a case, you know, and they're trying to get their information out. And to be fair, you know, they don't want the internet to get a hold to something and then they create a hole. I mean, we could debate if the jury watch or they don't watch, but chances are they watching, and so, you know, they don't want that information to leak out and get to the jurors. So, and I think that's fair for both the defendants and the prosecution. So that's why I zoom in a lot more now, so that I'm not staying on that wide shot, or when I'm on that wide shot, I'm making sure I'm not picking up anything that, you know, is going to cause me to get kicked out or cause us to lose access to this trial.
Well, the reactions of Doug and Yak and Shannon, everyone on that side, are 10 out of 10. So the angles that you've had, like I think Stara said, wonderful.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. I've been saying that for the last 2 days. He got Yak looking like co-counsel over there. That every time he zoom out, I'm like, hold on, what he see? What he see? Where we at? What's going on? But yeah, those shots are absolutely amazing. And I think, like, for me personally, because some of these things happened 10 years ago, because these guys look so much older, so much wiser, so much healthier, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, to be able to see them in that fashion, even though we know that's not where they want to be seen. We know that, you know, they may be chained to the floor or whatever, but to be able to see them in that way where people are actually able to back away from the heaviness of the trial and look at Shannon's outfit, or the fact that Yak look like co-counsel, or we see them in a different way. You get to see them as actual humans and not just defendants, even though they should be presumed innocent. So I appreciate that. We definitely appreciate it. But we nosy.
I got it.
We won't put it on the internet, but we nosy.
I definitely understand.
And we want to know, are you looking at the law and crime chat? Like, do you people?
No. People they'll send me a screenshot. I do look at Twitter. I live tweet during the time. Like, it helps me stay up. But no, I don't look at the law and crime chat. Primarily because I don't want, if that sound come on my phone and I don't want to deal with the judge. So I was just like, nah, I'm good. So Twitter is a safe space to be in tune with what everybody thinking.
Okay.
You're missing some wild things.
I've seen it. I've seen it on other trials, and I just, once again, it's part of that keeping your peace process. Like, as far as not allowing, because people they'll try you, and they're definitely, whew. So yeah, I try to stay in my. Who is this Vera person? I see Vera's name all over.
If you block one Vera account and like 50 come back.
Oh, okay.
You know how like a starfish, you cut off the leg and another one grows? That's how Vera works.
Oh, okay. I just see Vera's name all on Twitter and stuff. I'm like, who is Vera? Like,
no one knows.
Man, she pops up out of anywhere. I'm talking about. It's like more of a we don't die, we multiply. You block one page, another one pops right up.
Oh my goodness.
And if you say her name 3 times, she's gonna pop into your chat. Like,
let's not say her name.
Well, she's probably here somewhere because we talked about her. So
thank you, Aries. I appreciate that. Thank you for the compliments. God bless you guys. I appreciate it. All right. Go ahead.
Bill is so tickled, baby. I can't stop looking at her because she bugging up. But
please forgive me. Hold on, my dog is barking. Forgive me. It's my people in the chat. And I know when we get done with this one, they got a lot to say.
Okay.
Well, the reason that I asked about the law and crime chat is because sometimes, Maurice, we have a few hot mic situations, or times where the mic isn't even on, and so the people want to know. The people want to know.
They want to know
who tips you off about these things.
Who tips me about the how? I mean, Kathy will hit me. Sometimes I get a tweet like, "Yo, at MLD, like your mic is still on," or people text Sylvia, and Sylvia reach out to me. So yeah, I thank you. And the thing is, most of those times when that happens, it's the deputies over there harassing me, like making sure my camera is up. So I'm like, hey fam, like relax, like what I'm saying. So I'm trying to tell them to relax and show them the seal it. I'm like, I forgot the dang on mic is. And yes, and I also I'm good at telling the attorneys when their mics are hot to let them know, hey, listen. Watch it, so I normally tell the deputies to go tell them, because that's private conversations, and I don't want that to get out, because they're real. They over there fighting for the defendant's lives, their clients' lives. So especially Doug, I make sure Doug is taken care of. Doug's my man. He's a great guy. Love Doug.
Well, I think that shows your professionalism, like just through and through, regardless of who it is. Being able to tell one of the attorneys, "Hey, you might want to check that." That shows your professionalism.
There's one thing you don't want is a judge mad at you for a hot mic. So I try to make sure that does not happen.
So how easy is it to cut the mic? Is it just like a button that you push? Or?
It's just a button on the side of the camera. For this trial, now Court TV is a little bit more sophisticated. We have like 3 people inside the courtroom. You have a person that's running all the cameras, and you have your audio person, and then you have your switcher. And I'm doing all those at one time with myself. So that's the unique aspect of working with law and crime. You know. No.
Well, I heard you say you wanted to say something about new media, so I'm gonna give you the floor so you can get your monologue on it.
It's not really a monologue. I just want to make sure people understood. Like, I think a lot of times when you think about people like Miss Sylvia or any other new media personnel, is that I try to lead with grace. I think a lot of times people forget that they are vloggers. They're not journalists. And I think to consider them to be journalists when we studied and put in the work, sweat equity to build that cachet to be called that, is a disrespect to us, as well as it's a disjustice for vloggers. Because, Miss Sylvia and the Dennises and the Thugger Daily and Taylor and all of you guys, what you all do is very important. But I think you all are able to bring in a more human experience than we are, because all we could do is deal with the facts. We focus on the facts, and any personal is frowned on. So we try to, but being able to have the new media there and tell a different side of the coin is very important. But I just think it's wrong for people to try to put journalistic ethics on bloggers. Yeah, we should all have ethics. We should all know what's wrong, what's right. We should all know, if we shouldn't be crossing certain lines. And I think that's just human nature. But for the most part, just lead with grace. When you are watching these vloggers, lead with grace, lead with an understanding that they're trying to figure this thing out just like everybody else, and they're going to get it together. And they can only get it together if you have grace with them and they grow and you grow with them. So that's it. That's all I wanted to say.
I mean, I think that was a beautiful closing. That was fantastic. So let the people know how they can follow you, where they can get up to speed on any of your new projects, or anything that we need to support you on, because you family now. You are new.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I would say Instagram is probably my most active social media. It's just Maurice L. Dortch, MauriceLDortch. Instagram, if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at MLD Filmmaker. And I don't even, I'm so new on TikTok, I don't even know what name to give you on TikTok, so I think it's like, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. But yeah, but Instagram is where I'm most active at. So I just got quiet.
I was trying to follow you on Instagram while I'm on here.
Yeah, I was typing in your name.
I appreciate it.
No, I'm sorry.
Who is Kai? Who is Ki?
He may have gotten accidentally blocked in the chat.
You're not familiar with her, she cuts up in the chat, so your mind's probably let me get her out of here.
Okay.
She doesn't mean any harm.
She's like, what?
She is a fun millionaire.
Backwards. Don't do oh God.
All right. Well, listen, before I go, any people in the chat, let me see what they saying. Kayla Dorsch has a nice ring to it. Oh, okay, Kayla. Right. Ambition. I'm not mad at that.
I mean, this is what it is. If you show up in any of this, somebody gonna get a crush on you. So just
I think we're gonna have an
no.
after party over with the Melaners real quick.
You might regret reading the comments. It takes
But
a
you
left
could get
turn.
a sugar daddy because I've
Wait,
had
wait,
several
wait, wait.
opportunities.
Maurice, I can't let them do my people like that. They do cut up sometimes over there.
Okay.
But we do. So Maurice, sometimes on my page we do like a little mail after dark, and because we're talking about trial all the time, and Maurice, they surprised me. We talk about trial so much, I forget these are grown women.
Yeah.
You know, remind me in the chat that they are grown women. So sometimes, that's why I said we have to get you over there.
That's fine. I talk a little dirty after dark, you know what I'm saying?
I said that. I was like, I'm not gonna say it, but I'm looking at the comments like,
y'all must know. Don't follow Miss Sylvia. I get a little cheeky sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Not Mike Tyson cheeky, but I get a little cheeky sometimes.
Okay, that was a lot of cheek.
Yeah, that was a lot of cheek. Thank you, Dee. My TikTok is mo_tennis_mo_life. That is a terrible. I'm going to change that today because that is probably too long. That is way too long. Okay, how cold is it actually in the courtroom? It is very cold. This is the sweater I wore today, and it was hot outside.
Were you wearing that hat?
No, I'm not allowed to wear hats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was wearing this when I was driving because I like to drive with the windows down, and it's a little chilly. So I just came on there. I do have hair. It's not a Neo under this. So, and then let's see. One last question, Maurice. I'm asking for a friend. Where are all the single men with your same morals? I don't search for men. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But I'm sure they're around. It's a lot of good men. Just yeah.
Someone just about to say if he no, I don't think that's the answer you want.
I'm so sorry, but someone just said that your hair is blowing in the wind.
It's not doing much blowing. It's not much there, but I take that. Amy asked, "Can I sing?" Funny story. I used to sing when I was a kid. I auditioned. Here's a fun fact. I auditioned for MC Hammer in my gospel singing group, and he didn't sign us. And then the next year he went bankrupt. So that might have could have changed his whole life. You know what I'm saying?
It's because he didn't sign you.
Well, Hammer's my guy. I love Hammer. MC Hammer is my guy. So yeah. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for having me on. Mel, holla at me. I definitely would. I have on some. I put some red light bulbs in and have some Jodeci, in the background. And, yeah, we can make that happen.
Now, Maurice, let me go ahead and let you know that my millionaires are in the chat, and I'm telling they're not going to let me forget this. So you best have that red light and not have to go buy one. The red light at the house, and Maurice, the playlist needs to be on. Okay.
Now I got a dope playlist now. Music.
Listen, I'm just letting you know. I'm letting you know what my girls like over there.
I'm about to say now, y'all know. Y'all got to get y'all man to know about the nayu and the yeah. We had that conversation.
Listen, and don't forget to drink, Maurice, because we take shots, we drink wine, we chill after court. So okay. I'm just trying to let you know this is how
that'll have to be a weekend because I'm strict on my meal plan throughout the week.
I like it. I like it. We could do a Saturday, Maurice. A Saturday if you're choosing, and my girls will show up.
Tell your friends to get with my friends, and we'll be there.
And we can be friends. Do you hear what I'm saying?
You did.
My kind of guy, you did. Okay. All right.
All right, ladies. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Are we good? We good?
Yes, Maurice, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Maurice.
DM you.
DM me.
Okay, thank you.
Take care now.
Thank you.
Whew.